Hello everyone, Malai Vanakkam. A very good evening to all of you, all the dignitaries, faculties and all my dear alumni. I am Dr. Tejas Gundewar, Chief Male-Female Fertility Consultant at Ruby Hall Clinic, Pune. Being a product of this department and this institute, I take the pride and honor to be the Master of Ceremony for today's program. Today is a celebration of a decade that has just passed. 10 years of starting the first MCH in reproductive medicine and surgery program in the entire country, with decisive steps taken by the union government and the ART and surrogacy law which has been enacted. The importance and relevance of this degree course has increased exponentially. And what do I say? Rather, I must say, what a visionary he has been. Dr. N. Sanjeeva Reddy, brainchild behind this course. It has been exemplary, the vision that he had in building up this course. So with ample and able support from the managing committee of Ramachandra Medical College, Chennai, and all the faculty members, the department has been successfully running for the last 10 years. But in the last 10 years, the department can be credited for grooming 14 MCH specialists who have come from all across the country. And today, these MCH specialists are pioneer in this field in their respective states. So which is a big achievement. So without taking a lot of time, let's get started with today's program. Let me take this honor to invite on stage chief guest of today's program, Professor Sudha Seshan. She's a Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu, Dr. MGR University. Guest of honor, please take a round of applause. Guest of honor, Professor Mahesh Vakamudi, Dean of Faculties, Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research. Guest of honor, Professor Anandan, Dean, Ramachandra Medical College, Chennai. Dr. N. Sanjeeva Reddy, convener of today's program, and I don't think he needs any introduction. It's all because of him that we have all gathered here today. And finally, Dr. Radha Vembu, Professor and Head of Department, Reproductive Medicine and Surgery. Now I would like to request Dr. Swati to felicitate Dr. Sudha. Dr. Navya to felicitate Dr. Mahesh. Dr. Swati to felicitate Dr. Anandan. She hasn't come. Lavanya is not there. Invocation song. I'm really sorry. We are waiting for somebody to sing the invocation song. Yeah. Anybody is ready to sing the invocation song? Priya ma'am, can you please sing the invocation song? Yeah, I mean, yeah, all of us can sing. Yeah, please come, please come.
सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। आकाशस्याधिपो विष्णुः अग्निश्चैव महेश्वरी वायुः सूर्यक्षितेरिषः जीवनस्य गणाधिपः।
Thank you so much, everyone. Now let me invite Dr. Radha Vembu. She's a professor, head of department, reproductive medicine and surgery, herself a PhD holder, to deliver the welcome address.
A very good evening to all. It is my immense pleasure and a proud privilege to welcome you all on this evening for the first Smart Alumni Meet 2022. We are celebrating the 10th year of starting the first MCH course in reproductive medicine and surgery today. The first decade of inception of this course, which is first in India, has been a great learning experience to all of us. It is indeed a real proud moment to all of us to join the Smart Alumni Meet today, especially after the hard times of COVID pandemic. This could not have happened but for our respected beloved Chancellor, Shri V.R. Venkatachalam, for his constant vision and support. We are extremely overwhelmed in welcoming him on this occasion. It's also my duty to express my gratitude to our young and dynamic Pro-Chancellor, Shri R.V. Sengutavan, for lending his constant support. We welcome him also on this memorable occasion. I also welcome our eminent Vice Chancellor of Srihar, Professor P.V. Vijayaraghavan, who is constantly encouraging us in all aspects by his advices on curriculum development. Due to some emergency situation, he could not come and grace this occasion. We extend our hearty welcome to him also. It's our proud privilege to welcome Professor Sudha Sheshayan, Vice Chancellor, the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University, as a chief guest for today's alumni. As I said, today is a very special occasion. It's a pride and honor to award the first Smart Alumni 2022 oration to Professor Sudha Sheshayan. We immensely thank you, Madam, for accepting to be our chief guest and the orator for today's alumni meet. Professor Mahesh Vakamudi, our Dean of Faculties, who is also a Chief Operating Officer, for his work and research in anesthetic requirements in various fields like cardiothoracic, vascular and pediatric surgeries. He is a constant guide and inspiration for achieving the goals of our department. We would like to thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation to be our guest of honor for this occasion. Inviting Professor Anandan, our Dean of Medical College, is very special to us and to our department for his benevolent advice and guidance in our day-to-day departmental activities. He has readily accepted our needs and has guided us in all aspects. We thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation to be the guest of honor today. A dream written down with a date, it becomes a goal. A goal broken down into steps, it becomes a plan. A plan backed by action makes your dreams come true. The entire program, which was a goal of Professor N. Sanjeev Reddy, was planned and backed by action, and the dream come true today is Smart Alumni 2022, which has come into action today. For us, it is like inviting the head of the family to his own house but for his efforts, vision, and constant shaping of the curriculum and molding all the younger generation, this would not have been possible. I'm sure all the alumni agree with me that he is one of the main personality in our lives for inculcating discipline in us and showing us the right path. We are very proud and delighted to welcome you, sir, with an open heart on this occasion. Next, I'd like to welcome all the eminent speakers who also have come here to share our joy of Smart Alumni Meet from various cities of the entire country, sparing their precious time, and they will be sharing their experience and knowledge in this field in tomorrow's conference on ART. We welcome all the faculty members who have come a long way on this occasion. Last but not the least, this alumni could not have happened but for the interest and enthusiasm of our postgraduates. Many are now a budding super specialists who have come from all over the country, and also our present postgraduates of reproductive medicine and surgery and clinical embryology. We are very proud to welcome you all for this Smart Alumni Meet, and I'm sure we will meet every year and build a strong alumni in future as well. So, though we are part of this institution and share the passion and vision of this institution, our passion unites us and hard work strengthens the department. I will be failing my duty if I don't welcome all my colleagues and staff of the SMART for this memorable occasion. Their support and encouragement has made this a reality today. I would like to welcome the Sun Pharma division of INCA Life Sciences, Sonora, and the Spectra division to join us on this occasion of Smart Alumni 2022. I once again welcome all the dignitaries, faculty, and the eminent speakers on this occasion of Smart Alumni 2022. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the welcome address. Now I would request all the dignitaries to please light the lamp. Thank you so much, all the dignitaries, for the lamp. Now I would request Professor N. Sanjeeva Reddy, ex-head of the department, a brainchild and a visionary, to speak about MCH reproductive medicine and surgery.
Good evening. I'm very happy to stand here and tell some of the things. I thank actually Dr. Sudha Seshan, the Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu, Dr. MGR Medical University for accepting to come here as chief guest and also to deliver this oration. And our Dean of Faculties, Professor Mahesh Vakamudi, and Dean Professor Anandan to accepting our invitation to chair as guest of honors. I thank other people also. See, this SMART, see, this is called, in 2003, we started this center. This is the Ramachandra Medical Center for Assisted Reproductive Technology. Even though we started the Department of Reproductive Medicine and Surgery, even in the college, if you tell Department of Reproductive Medicine and Surgery, nobody knows. If you tell SMART, everybody knows. That is the thing. So actually, from 2003 onwards, after finishing my training at Brigham and Women's Hospital, Boston, Harvard Associated Hospital, I came back and we started the IVF center. From that time onwards, we were running the IVF program successfully. In around 2008 or 9, we planned to start the fellowship in reproductive medicine. So finally, we have applied for the university. They have given us permission. There was some political problem. That time, Mr. Arjun Singh was the education minister. He was given to everybody like universities, deemed universities. Then something happened, suddenly he was changed and Mr. Sibal became the education minister and he wants to cancel all the universities and he stopped not to start any programs. That's why we are not able to start for 2-3 years. Then again I went and approached our dean to start the fellowship program. He told we cannot start any fellowship program, but the MCI has told if you want you can start the DM reproductive medicine. I was surprised. We don't know what to do. Finally, we thought, okay, we'll try. Then we, with the dean's help, everything, we applied for the Board of Studies and everything, we got the permission. Then we applied to the Medical Council of India. So they should have separate department if you want to start any new course. So that in April 12th, I was shifted from Department of Reproductive Medicine, Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, started the separate department as reproductive medicine. That time only medicine. So then the inspection occurred in the May 2012 and we were allotted 2 seats and we got, in August 2012, we started our course. Dr. Kanimuli, she is the first candidate who joined. Second is Dr. Siddhartha. He is the second candidate. It made history actually in the country. One thing I was not able to understand, more than 100 years, the department is there. In medicine, there are DM is there. In surgical specialties, there are MCH. Why in obstetrics gynecology at all, there is no super specialties at all? I don't know, I was surprised. Why other people, they didn't try? Maybe luckily they were waiting for me to start. That's why we got this one. So first we started that DM reproductive medicine. Then I was facing one problem. General medicine people also, they were coming and asking me whether we can join in the reproductive medicine because it is called as DM reproductive medicine. Then I thought it is not appropriate to have DM reproductive medicine. And we are doing more surgeries than anybody else, except hysterectomies, rest all like fertility enhancing surgeries we are doing. Then, after discussing with our dean, we represented to the Medical Council of India to change this one as reproductive medicine, MCH reproductive medicine and surgery. Even though our first batch, they wrote the exam in 2015, they refused to take the degrees as DM reproductive medicine. They want only MCH reproductive medicine and surgery. Finally, in August 2012, it was converted into MCH reproductive medicine. Then only they took the degrees also from our university as MCH reproductive medicine and surgery. We have admitted 10 batches now. There are so many other cities also, they start colleges. If you take in CMC Vellore, they started last year. In Kerala, Trivandrum Medical College, they started. Amrita also 2 or 3 years back, Amrita Institute of Medical Science, they started. And Rajasthan one college, Andhra one college, like that. I request the Dr. Sudhashisan, the Vice Chancellor, and to take up this one and to start in, there are many government medical colleges, excellently they are doing other things. They should start MCH reproductive medicine surgery from now, like I think when she takes some push, definitely the government will come forward to start these courses in Tamil Nadu also. So we had other courses what we are running PhD reproductive medicine and surgery. Dr. Radha is the first PhD in reproductive medicine and surgery, you can say like qualified like that in the country. Next we started, another problem we will be facing in this is the shortage of embryologists. If you say 2003 when we started the center, we appointed one embryologist. We started the stimulation. After 5 days, that embryologist disappeared. Then I came to know he went and joined with Dr. Tarnkam Varma. Like Jayanti Mehta was the embryologist there. He left suddenly. I don't know what happened. They offered him 5 times the salary what we are paying. That's why he disappeared from there. And not only there, very few embryologists were there. They were coming like just on going to every center doing. Then we need specialists. There is no structured course also in India. That's why we decided we'll start the MSc Clinical Embryology. 2014 we started for the MBBS graduates. Later we included BDS also, students also. That is going on very well, but for a year only 5 candidates. So then we decided, because like other science specialties, students also, many people they are approaching us. So then we have applied, and our university they have granted us for diploma in PG, diploma in clinical embryology. This year we are starting that one. And also only 2 candidates per year, and also many people they are not willing to stay 3 years for after MS OG. So that we thought we will train some more people. With 1 year fellowship we are doing. We started the 2 years, 2 candidates per year. Now it is 5 candidates per year. The competition is so much. We are getting so many, so much recommendations, pressure like that. Hope with that, many people 1 year also they cannot stay, but they want to learn so many things in the infertility IVF. With that, we started one smart cart program, 5-day course. It is very well appreciated. In 2 to 3 months, we are conducting one thing. They are exposed to everything, IVF hands-on and IVF they will be seeing like this. So everything, there is so much per batch, we will take 10 people and it's going on well. Because of this pandemic, we didn't continue now. We have to start again. These are some of the students. Not only from our department faculty, we are taking the faculty from outside, the experts in the field, from other people from the city also we are taking. They are also coming and helping us. We have state-of-the-art facilities in our center, comparable to any other center, well-developed countries also. We have research grants, not only ICMR, Department of Science, and also we have great projects in our institute, university. They will give each year they will give some 2 or 3. From there also we are doing the research work, and we have plenty of projects like prizes and awards. Our PGs, they are participating in all conferences and presenting the papers and posters. Our faculty also, they got many prizes, and we got, including BCI award to our department. We have 35 publications in reputed journals, and also we have this first IVF we have done in 2004. Luckily, first batch itself, 2 patients they conceived, both are twins, they are doing very well now. And after that, we have a lot of pregnancies going on. So now our students, not only here, the students are not only confined to Tamil Nadu. After the NEET, we have different states. You take from Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Punjab, all the places. So people are going and spreading. I am happy they are doing very well wherever they have started practicing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for a delightful and a very interesting insight how the department has progressed over the last 10 years. And it's a very proud feeling to see where the department stands today. And it's all the more proud feeling to be a part of that department. Now, let me take you to the grassroots again. And now let me invite Dr. Kani ma'am, Dr. Kani Muri. She is the first MCH in this field from the whole country. Not only Tamil Nadu, she is the first from the country to give her thoughts.
Very good evening to one and all here. I welcome the dignitaries for this alumni meet. Actually, I have not prepared anything for this meet because I thought, okay, whatever comes to my mind, I will talk, because there's many things to talk about this department. When I joined as a postgraduate in 2012, back in 2012, I had 2 toddlers at home. One was a 7-month-old and another one was a 4-year-old. I was really surprised whether I'll be able to take this course, whether I'll be able to continue it with good passion and everything. But I think I did something right by choosing up this course, taking up it, and then finishing it on time without any delay. But further things, there are many things I wanted to share now, but I have very few thoughts. From each of them, I learned so many things. Learning, doing surgeries, acquiring skills is a part of the program, but everybody will be learning in a due course of time. But I would like to highlight a very few points still I carry with me as a consultant in the hospital, in a corporate hospital. First thing, right to begin with, sir, to put a probe cover. That is the most important thing of any IVF procedure, because sir is to stand next to me and watch how I'm putting the probe, and he'll be looking at me and he'll be just giving a look. He'll be like, no, how many times to tell you, how many times to teach you. And next thing is putting, standing in laparoscopies, to hold the camera the proper way. There are so many things. Everybody, I think everybody, all the postgraduates, the fellows, everybody would have learned till date how to hold the probe, the way you should catch the probe and do ultrasound, and how do we do the procedure entirely. And sir wants everybody to be very sincere, very devoted. And we all know sir is a man of few words. And he will just give a look, whether by his look we will be able to understand whether we are doing the right thing or a wrong thing. And I've learned so many things. Writing a prescription, till date, when I issue a prescription to any patient, if the patient has to take the medicine for 14 days, sir will write 101 for 14 days, 28 tablets. He used to write the number of medicines the patient has to take. They should not buy one medicine extra also. 1 tablet excess they should not buy. They should spend for what they have bought, like that. Till date, when I write that, I always remember sir and the way he taught. Next to coming to Mona ma'am, she is literally an ocean of knowledge. And she will be like every evening after 4 o'clock, come, chalo, come, sit. I want to tell you something. You learned this point, you taught this, you read this. Did you read this article yesterday? I was like, ma'am, no ma'am, I have not read. And she will say, okay, I'll give you an article, you read today and come back tomorrow. And next day morning, she will come and ask, did you learn that? I will say, ma'am, yes ma'am, I read it. What is that one important point you learned? I'll be like, it's like one important point. It's like, and my co-PG is a very smart co-PG. He will exactly tell the point what she wanted. But I was never able to catch up till I finished my MCH. And Radha ma'am, I would honestly say, without her, I don't think so I would be able to finish my dissertation on time, because she is the one who guided me each step. how to do it the right way, how to do the streamlining, because ma'am was, that time she was pursuing her PhD and she knows how to do it because she's taken a lot of postgraduates. So, and Tamil Rasi ma'am, I was so naive in doing an ultrasound. Whenever I put a probe, the patients used to cry. So she is the one who taught me how to hold a probe, insert it, do it very gently. And there are so many things from each of them I've acquired, and I'm so proud to say that I carry it every day and I do it. And finally, embryology, they have taught us so well, so many things. Manjula ma'am, Sudhaka, everybody, they have taught us so many things. Finally, without the staffs, they're so helpful, so friendly. You should work in such a department. To me, it is like a full packed entertainer department, full packed educational, everything will be there in the department. We'll go for events, we'll go for conferences, we'll go for everything. And out of all, she has given me lovely friends, my juniors, my co-PGs, my fellows, every day. Till date, we all establish the contact. Whenever we have a doubt, we call each other, and everything is there. And thank you so much to this day, because I was able to express my feelings. And I very proudly say that I'm a student of Dr. Sanjeev Reddy, and I'll make him proud further. Thank you.
Thank you, Kani ma'am, for those emotional thoughts. And all of us been through the same boat, and we totally agree with you with whatever you've said about the probe cover and the laparoscope. Yes, we've been through the same boat. But I would definitely like to share that because of sir, I have also started writing my prescriptions in capital letters. And it is only because of sir that I write, because my handwriting is worst. Nobody can ever understand my handwriting. But because of sir, I've started writing it in capital letters. Okay, so let's move on. Now I would like to invite Professor and Dean, Sri Ramachandra Medical College, Chennai, Professor Anandan sir, to deliver a few words.
A pleasant good evening to each and every one of you. Respected Dr. Sudha Seshayan, Vice Chancellor of the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR Medical University, Dr. Magesh Vakamadi, Dean of Faculty, Sri Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research, Dr. Sanjeev Reddy, the man behind the whole show, whether it is DM Reproductive Medicine, MCH Reproductive Medicine, Clinical Embryology, he has set the tone at Sri Ramachandra Medical College and Research Institute. Dr. Radha, the present HOD of Department of Reproductive Medicine Surgery, members of Department of Reproductive Medicine and Surgery, and all the smart alumni. I just ask sir, who was the person who coined this word smart? Because he can go around saying that Ramachandra has produced smart alumni, whether it is reproductive medicine and surgery or clinical embryology. I am very sure each and every one of you are smart enough, and you are doing extremely well in different parts of the country. I still remember I took over as Dean in 2008, when sir was talking about fellowship programs and all. That was the time when Medical Council of India decided we can start a super specialty program in reproductive medicine, which was DM. I told him, sir, we will go straight away to start DM medicine. And that's how sir got transferred as from professor of obstetric gynecology to head of the Department of Reproductive Medicine, which later became Department of Reproductive Medicine and Surgery. I think sir has conceptualized the whole process, right from the curriculum, everything for Medical Council of India. It was the handwork of Dr. Sanjeev Reddy. I think it is no surprise Dr. Sanjeev Reddy was awarded the B.C. Roy Award. I think one of the exceptional teachers. I know Dr. Sanjeev Reddy from JIPMER days. He is an exceptional teacher, man of few words. Whenever I see his prescription, like many of the people, like Kanimani said, everything is in capital letters. Any pharmacist can see his prescription and give the medicine. So, Dr. Sanjeev Reddy, on behalf of, as a Dean of the Medical College, I congratulate you for starting this program and carrying this program forward and offering your advice to all the younger faculty members of Department of Reproductive Medicine. And just to put on record, we are going for increase of seats from 2 to 4 because there is a big demand. And you know, there was a time when fertility was high. Now, there is a time when infertility has become high. I see whenever I drive down the road, every other street has got one infertility center. I just wonder who's the person, how she or he is qualified to run the center, whether they have competent clinical embryologists, God only knows, but I think everything is now under the Act. A few words, Dr. Radha is the first PhD from Department of Reproductive Medicine and Surgery. Also, interesting fact, in Ramachandra, we have a ICMR MD, MS PhD program. I think this is the only super specialty department in Ramachandra Medical College where a postgraduate did PhD. I hope Dr. Erika Desai has completed her PhD or in the process of completion of her PhD program. I think she is going to give the vote of thanks today. I must congratulate her because super specialization itself is difficult. Also, taking up PhD program is a wonderful thing. I think I must again congratulate the entire team for offering this PhD program to one of the super specialty departments. I'm very sure a lot of people have met each other, have a wonderful time. Tomorrow is going to be the conference, and when I went through the program, each and every aspect of ART has been covered. Array of speakers, wonderful chairpersons. I'm very happy to see Madam, one of the doyens in the field of reproductive medicine, Madam Kamala Selvaraj. I made sure that Madam was the person who gave the bouquet to Dr. Sanjay Reddy. Much before any other institution started, I think Madam was the person behind all this ART program. As a Dean of the Medical College, I welcome you, ma'am, for this. It's a wonderful gesture on your part to have attended this inaugural ceremony. I hope each and every one, a smart alumni, whether it is MCH Reproductive Medicine and Surgery or Clinical Embryology, keep doing well and keep the flag of Sri Ramachandra Medical College high. And I wish this conference goes on well. And I thank Dr. Radha, Sanjeev Reddy and the members of the Department of Reproductive Medicine and Surgery for giving me an opportunity to be with all of you this evening. Thank each and everyone. Have a wonderful time, have a wonderful night today, and a wonderful educative conference tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Anandan sir, for the address. I still remember my first meeting with you, sir, and I've always been a huge admirer of how pro-student and student-friendly approach that you have. It's always been amazing to see how you approach the students. Thank you so much. So we move on, and now I would request Professor Mahesh to come and say a few words. He is a Dean of Faculty, Ramachandra Institute of Higher Education and Research.
Good evening, respected Professor Sudha Seshan, Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu MGR Medical University, Dr. Anandan, Dean Medical College, Ramachandra Medical College, Professor N. Sanjeev Reddy, the BC Roy recipient, award recipient, and the founding head of the department of the SMART, and I think it's more appropriate if we address you as you're the founding head of the SMART rather than the founding head of the Department of Reproductive Medicine, sir. I think that's how you're always identified as in the campus, and Dr. Radha, the current HOD of Reproductive Medicine. It's extremely heartening for me to see here all the alumni gathering here. We always are very proud at Ramachandra, to see our alumni. The Chancellor is always happy to see the alumni. If you would have been in station, you would have been 100. I was telling President N.S. Reddy that he would have 100% come here if he would have been in town. And it's extremely gratifying. And I know how proud it would be for all of them as the teachers here to see all of you doing well. I was actually going through some of you, the records of the alumni, how they are placed. It's extremely heartening to see that 60 to 70% of them have their own centers now of their own. They're running their own centers. It's extremely gratifying. I think as teachers, we should be all proud, and as alumni, as the practicing physicians of reproductive medicine, I think you all should be proud. Also proud that you've been graduated from the Ramachandra, the famous Ramachandra University. Just to go back on a couple of things. I still remember, I think it's in the 11th March 2004 is the time at which you had the first IVF, successful IVF delivering twins in Ramachandra. this is about 8 years before you actually started your reproductive medicine department. As a division of reproductive medicine, you were actually doing wonderful work even before you became the department. I think that is the greatest evolution in my opinion. You know, before you started the department, actually you were already doing a very, very cutting edge work in the reproductive medicine, and before you actually became the department. That's helped the department to grow much more stronger. And you became the leader in this country in terms of the teaching in reproductive medicine, because you're already doing the great work in reproductive medicine even before you became the department officially in 2012. But I just wanted to tell everybody here, you know, what you call, when you see a great movie, you see the great movie visuals, everything, but you need to also understand what is the hard work that went behind that in the making of the movie. That making of that movie, I think all that credit should go. We all know the director is Professor N.S. Reddy for that movie, but how much hardship he has gone, because you know he needs an appropriate producers, he need appropriate technicians in making that movie. It's not easy to get a new department and a very, very full steam a university running at full steam, because a lot of resources allocations that actually would hamper the growth of this departments. You know, it's not easy for people to allocate resources when it's so much of funding is actually required. I personally know how much effort Professor N.S. Reddy has actually has taken. There are two things that I always admire about him. One is about his focus and his perseverance. I think if we had two qualities that anybody have to learn from him, I think these are the two qualities that I have seen as administrator from him, where he will never allow you to relax. Like, you know, if he has given you some letter to take care of it, you will come back and make sure that it is followed up. Whether I am in my operating room in areas, or it is, or if anybody else, like, you know, even if it is, I saw him following up with the Chancellor also the same way. And fortunately, with against all that hardships, putting up with all the hardships and hurdles, we were able to make it to this level with all the, I would like to congratulate and thank the team of people who have worked behind Professor N.S. Reddy. It is not just it is not possible just by him alone. I'm sure there are a lot of people that Dr. Mona, and in the beginning Dr. Usharani was there helping you the division, and then Dr. Radha, and so many other people who are now part of the thing, Dr. Tamil. I think so many people are there who in the journey of the whole SMART and reproductive medicine department. I wish all of you the very best, and a great conference for tomorrow and day after, and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the words of wisdom. Now I would like to request Professor Sudha ma'am to say a few words.
Vanakkam. Respected Professor Anandan, Professor Mahesh Vakamodi, Professor Dr. Sanjeeva Reddy, Dr. Radha, and all those proud and privileged SMART members and SMART alumni. Thank you very much for this opportunity to be amidst a SMART lot. Much has been said about the department and its achievements. For one who's been associated with medical education for about 3 decades and more, and for one who has been associated with medical administration, I only urge all those of you who have been contributing wonderfully well to the community, because reproductive medicine and surgery provide support and solace to the community at large. And my request to you today is, with so many changes happening across, with so many changes in lifestyle, with so many changes on the planet, reproductive medicine and surgery in times to come would have futuristic and ethical implications. It is for those of you who have taken up this chosen field as your privileged area of work to consolidate the community on the lines of the futuristic achievements of reproductive medicine and surgery. Yes, today the department stands high. Of course, as Professor Mahesh said, the hardships, the difficulties that the department would have faced, the miseries sometimes that the members would have gone through may not be known outside. However, I'm sure all your achievement today had been on consolidated efforts. I request all of you to keep this consolidated harmony in the years to come. As you meet today on the 10th anniversary of the establishment of the department and the establishment of the MCH course, I wish that you meet on your 20th anniversary, 30th anniversary, and so on, at the same time contributing to the collective harmony of the nation and the community. All the best. Have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful conference. And have a wonderful future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the enlightening words. Now, can I request you, ma'am, to give mementos to Mahesh sir? Hanji, ma'am. Check. And also to Anandan sir. Thank you, ma'am, for the gesture. Now, I would like to call on stage Dr. Mona Pandurangi. She is Associate Professor in the Department of Reproductive Medicine and Surgery. And I must say that she is one of the strongest pillars of this department. What we see today is a lot and lots of the hard work that she has done. And she is one of the founding members also of the department. She's been there since the insight of this department. So, ma'am, over to you. Ma'am will be introducing the orator.
Good evening, everybody. Senior dignitaries, my senior faculty, colleagues, and staffs. Today, it's my privilege and pleasure to introduce to this august gathering an achiever, the women in forefront, Professor respected Dr. Sudha Seshan, Vice Chancellor, the Tamil Nadu Dr. MGR University, Chennai. Madam, Dr. Sudha Seshan, some more words about her, I would like to say. Dr. Sudha Seshan has been a medical doctor, a medical teacher for both undergraduates and postgraduates. She has also been a medical administrator for over 30 years at various levels. Having exposed to medical administration quite early in her career, she has been successful to scale in heights with relative ease and grit. With decades of experience in teaching human anatomy, all of us know how difficult it is to understand human anatomy when we jump from 12th standard to a vast ocean of human body. Her teaching in human anatomy and a scientific writing got her recognized as international advisory on various medical journals and most important on the editorial board of Gray's Anatomy, textbook. I think all of us remember as doctor fraternity that this Gray's Anatomy we consider it as doctor's Bible, and it's the most difficult book to read. Madam, we really appreciate, and it's a prestigious thing. She has also edited another textbook of anatomy in 3 volumes. In addition to editing medical textbooks, she is known for contributing to popular magazines in English, Tamil languages, as well as journals of academic. In this meeting today, I had our sir coming and telling Madam that every week he is a regular reader of her column. So much diversities in her interest. Dr. Sudha, just a minute, sorry. Just 1 minute. Is okay? Yeah, there's a PPT. Let's continue. It's okay. So, apart from this, Dr. Sudha has more than 30 manuscripts and books to her credit in literature, spirituality, history, and biography and social values. Madam has had the privilege of translating former President of India, APG Dr. Abdul Kalam's book into Tamil, and also had a honor of getting it released by him, Dr. APG Abdul Kalam. It's a great honor. She has been the first publishing and compiling editor of translated version of Britannica Concise Encyclopedia in Tamil. Madam is a great Tamil orator. All these activities have placed her in the forefront and given her the taste of various challenges the women in forefront face. And Madam has been brave in that. On the spirituality front, Madam is noted for her Hindu discourses in India and abroad. Her write-ups on various spiritually oriented topics have been published in various Tamil magazines. Interestingly, with these diverse interests ranging from science to spirituality, she is also a famous quiz master and has scripted a few quiz books. Madam is a much sought-after resource for musicians and dancers in imparting the tenets of Indian culture and ethos. All these experiences have given her the first-hand feel of what challenges one would have to face and in what ways one can handle them successfully. With vast real-life experiences, Madam has delivered many inspiring and reawakening guest lectures on topics like empowering thyself, balancing act, and I think they are very inspiring. Not only these, there are many more. When I went through, it was really amazing. We are proud of you, ma'am, and we are lucky that you have agreed to spend your valuable time with us today. We welcome you. Department of Reproductive Medicine and Surgery welcomes you, ma'am, to deliver the oration, SMART 2022. And Madam has chosen a topic, One Health. Madam, we invite you for the oration.
Request Mahesh sir to present a memento to Sudha ma'am.
Sorry.
Thank you so much, sir, for the gesture. Now it's all over to Sudha ma'am for the oration.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, and greetings to all. When Dr. Reddy wanted to know what could be the area of discussion this evening, I thought it could be something that would relate to the world we are in today. And that is when I thought we can have some thoughts on One Health. One Health is generally described as that collaborative approach towards the health of people, animals, and plants. I specifically mention the term plants because generally environment is the term that is associated with people and animals as far as the One Health triad is concerned. I have reasons to say the plants specifically because it is that terrestrial imbalance which has placed mankind in a state of distress and misery. The collaborative approach of One Health involves very many disciplines. And the idea is to achieve optimal health for all those animate lives which are on the earth. And the concept, as we all know, recognizes the connection between people, animals, and plants, not merely recognizing the connection, but then appreciate the fact that all of us share the environment. The animals and the plants have as much rights as you and me have on the planet. There had been a lot of talk about One Health in the last few years. But is the concept of One Health anything new? If we browse through history, men have realized diseases have often jumped from animals to human. Our forefathers have realized if animals were unhealthy, it would probably be the next few days by the time human beings also fall sick. They've also realized that prevention of certain diseases can happen when the material or secretions from the animals are taken and injected. Many of you would think of Edward Jenner when I say this. The secretions from the cowpox pustules which were experimented with as part of the initial vaccination measures. It was not only Jenner, or it was not the time of Jenner, but then similar things had happened much earlier. In fact, it might be a moment of pride for all of us to know when the King Institute was inaugurated in the city of then Madras, the then governor, the British governor of the Madras presidency, Lord Ampthill, made a reference to the age-old custom that ancient Indians were following to keep kinds of pox disease away by taking the secretions from the udder of the cow. So people knew, humankind knew that animals and human beings had lots of relations with regard to their diseases and health. The Mesopotamian code of Eshnuna gives a very clear dictum to dog owners. It says, if you think your dog is diseased, it is for you to prevent the dog from biting people. If something happens to anyone, the owner of the dog will be punished. Similarly, you find lots of instances in ancient literature, literature from different parts of the world, literature from different civilizations, which very clearly spell that if animals are sick, human beings would also become sick quite soon. And if you trace the history of smallpox, this is supposed to be the first infectious disease which caught on to the human community. We find the early records of smallpox sometime in the 4th century of the Common Era in China. But then if you trace as to how smallpox spread across the globe, you would find that it was trade which made it go to Japan, the Crusade Wars which made it go to Europe, and the travel of the explorers which made smallpox enter Australia much later in the 18th century. And the relation between animals and mankind as regards diseases jumping from one to another was a kind of a chance discovery by that German pathologist whose name most of us are familiar with, Rudolf Virchow. He was doing some experiments and then he had an old dog by his side, a dog which was more like his companion. For his experiment, he had also acquired a fresh cadaver, a cadaver of an individual who had died of a disease on which he was working. Virchow was able to see that the cadaver had some kind of flecks, whitish blocks, especially on the muscular tissue. He had not done his experiments for the day. He had not studied the cadaver, but then the dog was waiting by his side. He thought the dog was hungry and then took out some pieces of flesh from the cadaver and fed the dog. That evening, he took out the flecks and studied them under the microscope and found Trichinella spiralis larvae were just teeming in those flecks. It so happened the dog died a few days later. Virchow realized what had happened. He autopsied the dog to find Trichinella, adult Trichinella was sitting in the dog's intestine, which means the same organism was able to infect the man and the dog. The interesting part comes a little later. Finding out his information, Virchow went about telling people that partially cooked ham and partially cooked pork would cause diseases to spread. He advocated the cooking should be complete. And in the place where he lived, raw flesh was a delicacy. And what is this raw flesh? Raw flesh is smoked ham, ham which had been smoked very lightly so that it still retains the raw flavor. Virchow went about saying, do not eat raw flesh, have your ham and pork cooked well. The German Veterinarian Society took offense and they appointed a young junior veterinary officer to counter Virchow's lectures. So this veterinary officer went about saying there's nothing wrong if you take uncooked ham and uncooked meat. One day, Virchow decided to counter the veterinarian. He went to the meeting where the veterinarian was speaking about raw flesh, gave him a gift package. The gift package had raw flesh, and right in front of the entire audience, Virchow asked him to eat that partially cooked ham. The veterinarian, who was all the time advocating uncooked ham, refused to take the food, tried all kinds of tricks, and ultimately, when forced, he said, "No, I cannot eat this." And that was Virchow's moment of triumph. That was when he proved diseases could jump from animals to mankind. And today, as medical practitioners, we all know the very term zoonosis was coined by Virchow in 1855. In the ancient times, human beings lived in small pockets. Probably just about 50 or 100 of them in one area, and another 50 or 100 in another area, totally unconnected. There was no way organisms from this group could go to that group because there was absolutely no contact between this group and that group. So it was thought the animals in between served as mediators and reservoirs. Unfortunately, scientific and medical research has proved otherwise in the last 3 centuries. It is now realized diseases did not jump from one human group to another human group, keeping animals as the mediator or the reservoir. But most of the infectious diseases have jumped from one animal group to another animal group, keeping the human beings as the mediator and the reservoir. Many diseases which we think today as standalone diseases have all been of zoonotic origin, including the smallpox. Smallpox has a history of about 12,000 years. When mankind started living closer to the rodents, as they expanded, they went closer to the rodents. Even today, in the rural areas, you find the rats and the mice coming into the house. When mankind expanded and went closer to the rodents, the virus from the rodents jumped into the human community. The common cold virus, the organism causing tuberculosis, Mycobacterium, all these have been initially animal organisms which have adapted themselves to mankind. With this background, let us try and spend a few moments to think as to why does One Health become important today. Fact number 1, human population keeps growing. As the human population grows, it expands into new geographic areas, into new locations. I'm sure some of the seniors here would remember Chennai was not this broad and wide 2 or 3 decades ago. But today, the very city that we thought was a kind of Sattvic city has grown out of proportions. Human population keeps expanding, new locations, new areas, new geography. That causes contact between animals and mankind. All the natural resources are meddled with. Proximity, close contact, jumping of pathogens is possible. If you would want solid examples, think of Nipah, which occurred for the first time in 1999 in the peninsula of Malaysia. The reason why Nipah started, pig farming was thought of as an economic big thing. So pig farming expanded and they required place for pig farming. They went into areas which were the border of forest areas and inhabited areas. And in those border areas were the bats. From the bats, the pigs got infected. From the pigs, the farmers got infected, and Nipah now has spread across the world. Avian virus infection, which had been the primary source for several of the other viral diseases that we know of today, birds moving from one place to another, spread of infection. Birds and bats keep moving, so it's easy for them to carry infection from one place to another. Fact 2, changes on planet Earth, deforestation, cultivation patterns have changed. We are so given to intensive farming culture, vehicles. We just cannot think of living without the vehicles and the gadgets, the equipments, which are all altering the environment. How many of us remember a small little entity called the sparrow? Where is the sparrow now? Except for some small pockets closer to the Marina Beach, you don't find sparrows at all in the city. And maybe there are also other living things which are slowly fading away. I remember some of us as school children have seen earthworms. Do we see them today? The soil has changed, the air has changed. In total, planet Earth has changed. And all these cause ill health of plants, animals, mankind, which in turn have a bearing on one another. The most unfortunate thing is that many of these changes are changes in the name of development. You may ask me, can we live without these developmental changes? We cannot. At the same time, it is for us to realize that these developmental changes are also corroding into our future. There is so much of wildlife trade, pet markets, wet markets, increased global demand for meat, industrial farming of chicken and pigs, contamination of water all over, petting exhibitions, complete loss of biodiversity. You and me want to travel to vacation spots, and we are happy that the roads have been relaid. Wonderful roads closer to the forest area, closer to our resorts. But every time a road is being laid in a Ghat region, the flora and the fauna of the area are getting disturbed. Not a meter of road can be laid without disturbing the flora and the fauna. Urbanization, mining, what we call as infrastructure development, huge buildings, and all these are eating into the biodiversity. We'll not be wrong if we call these as the hidden costs of human development. There is a pathogenic spillover without you and me realizing that there is a pathogenic spillover. Every bit of human development, every bit of urbanization causes a pathogenic spillover. Fact 3, there are increased movements. If a disease was endemic in a particular area 3 centuries ago, it took at least 50-60 years for that disease to spread from that area to another area, primarily because of the movement of one individual or because of military movements. When COVID-19 hit us, most of us were talking about Spanish flu. Spanish flu, which was just about 100 years ago, became a kind of a pandemic, not a true pandemic because it did not affect all the countries. It became a kind of a pandemic because of military movements. Military warriors who had fought somewhere in the Europe, when they landed at Nagapattinam 1 year later, were responsible for the second wave of Spanish flu in the then Madras presidency. But within about 2 years, we know how things spread, what can happen when international travel is so rapid. People move from place to place. Animals are made to move. Domesticated animals, non-domesticated animals are made to move from one place to another. All kinds of produce are being introduced. Animals which cannot thrive in the Indian climate are being introduced into India and vice versa. So all these cause the diseases to spread across international borders. And let's remember, human-related causes rank high in such spread. And it is also a sad fact that most zoonotic diseases occur in high-income countries. And as of now, of the total lot of human diseases that we can list, at least 70% are zoonotic. 80 to 90% of all our emerging diseases will also be zoonotic. Of the 1,400 and odd pathogens which are known today to cause diseases to human beings, let us remember 65% of them have jumped from animals. Fact 4, which is even more disturbing, the kind of climate changes that we are facing. Warm temperatures, dry climate, arid geography, pollution across, all these will make diseases to be treated resilient. It will be hard to treat them, and what with antimicrobial resistance adding on. So comes the importance of One Health. One Health is a triad, we say. The essential information that One Health would give us is care for the environment, care for things around us, and then only can we sustain our own health. Whatever we do for human health is now dependent on our care for animal and planet health. Friends, we just give a pictorial representation for the triad. All of us have seen this. All of us have seen this, and all of us have got deceived. We've got deceived by this pictorial representation. You know why? There are 3 circles there, 3 circles of equal dimensions, overlapping one another, trying to say environmental health is equal to animal health, which is equal to human health. But hidden behind these 3 circles are another set of 3 circles. Contribution by environment, contribution by animals, contribution by human beings. If we try and compare what had been the contribution, environment is not meddling with itself. Animals are not meddling with the environment. But human beings are meddling with our own selves. We meddle with the environment. We meddle with the animals. And so, our contribution to the misery is much more. And that is why I said these 3 circles are deceptive. 3 equal circles are completely deceptive because we have been contributing more. Currently, the One Health issues are prevention of disease outbreaks, reduction of antibiotic resistance, prevention of vector-borne diseases, expanded use of food animals, protection of animal and plant health, safe association, even psychiatric association between human beings and animals. You might wonder as to what significance does One Health have to a group of people involved in reproductive medicine and surgery. There was someone here who raised a kind of a concern that every second door is an infertility clinic on the road. What had been the reason for the upsurge of infertility? If it was not for this kind of a terrestrial imbalance. Terrestrial imbalance which has been caused primarily by the human beings. As medical professionals, the responsibility that you had when you chose your career, what was your responsibility? What was your reason to choose reproductive medicine and surgery as your career? Your responsibility, I understand, was your concern for the community, which was getting psychologically downsloped because of infertility problems. Your concern for the people, your concern for their happiness. And I think as individuals of humankind, all of us have yet another responsibility of caring for the health of people around us, caring for the health of things around us, caring for the health of the planet. And who should work towards One Health? All human health professionals, all animal health professionals, agri professionals, ecologist, wildlife expert, people who trade, people who are in the market, people who sell animal food, plant food, whatnot, people who sell chemicals, people who deal with paints, people who deal with fertilizers, law enforcers, builders, people who build different kinds of buildings. Kindly permit me to give one example which I have personal first-hand information. It so happened that we had to build a new animal house. The construction expert would convince everyone that the floor will have to be of vitreous tiles, vitrified tiles, so that it would be easy cleaning the floor. Animals would be housed, animals would keep soiling the area, and it would be easy if vitrified tiles are laid and people can clean the area better. Believe me, 15 days, just 15 days, all sheep went in for bow legs. No elastic recoil, hard floor. It's easy for human beings to clean, but then the animals suffered. We call it development. We call it urbanization. So all of us have a responsibility. Urban planners, policy makers, pet owners, everyone has a responsibility, and the list is endless. These are just examples. So friends, this evening, my request to all of you, or rather all of us, is that we have yet another responsibility of caring for the health of this planet. Animal, human, environment. That is the One Health triad. But as I told you, our contribution to spoil it had been more, and our contribution to rectify it also should equally be more and responsible. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sudha ma'am, for such an enlightening oration. Yes, yeah.
You can please.
So it was a very enlightening oration, a lot of thoughts to ponder upon. And I request all of you to inculcate the concept of One Health in the best way we can, and save this planet, make this place a better place to live. On that note, now I would request Professor Anandan sir and Professor Mahesh sir to hand over mementos to the MCH postgraduate students. I'll call the names of the students, and then they can please come up the stage and take the mementos. Dr. Kani ma'am. Dr. Siddharth Nagireddy. Dr. Kanimoi. Dr. Lata, Dr. Anita, Dr. Arun Mutuvel, Dr. Anita, Erika Patel, Dr. Ashish Soni, Dr. Roshni, okay, she's out. Dr. Madhumita, Dr. Roshni is here. Dr. Lahari, she is not here because of some unavoidable circumstances. Dr. Vivek Kakkad,
Dr. Tejas Gundewar.
Dr. Harsh and Dr. Chandana Bhatt are not available because of their overseas posting. Dr. Amulya, Dr. M. Anu, I would really appreciate a bigger round of applause. These have been one of the first few in the entire country. So please have a bigger round of applause, please, yes. Dr. Megha, Dr. D. Sushishmita, Thank you Sudha ma'am, Anandan sir and Mahesh sir for this gesture, and thank you all the alumni who have travelled to be a part of today's event. As we come towards the end of this program, I would like to invite Dr. Erika Patel, probably the only person in this entire country who is going to hold a MCH and a PhD in reproductive medicine and surgery, to deliver a vote of thanks.
Hello everyone. Respected Sir, Dean Sir, Honorable Chief Guest, all the invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion of the Smart Alumni Day, something that is very, very close to my heart. I, on the behalf of the entire team of Smart Department, express my profound gratitude to the Chancellor, who's not been here, who has been the driving force behind the success of this department, because without his support, we wouldn't have been able to achieve these heights. I thank our Dean, Professor Anandan, our Dean of Faculty, Professor Vakamudi, Vice Chancellor, Professor Vijay Raghavan, for their constant support in this endeavor. I express my gratitude to our Chief Guest, Professor Sudha Seshian, for sparing her valuable time from her busy schedule. Her presence and her amazing talk on One Health has added grandeur to today's function. Heartfelt thanks to my teachers, Professor Dr. Sanjeev Reddy, Dr. Mona, and Dr. Radha, who are rightly called the three pillars of the Smart Department. I thank my sponsor, Sun Pharmaceuticals, and I would like to thank all my dear colleagues and alumni of Smart Department who have traveled a long distance to come here and be a part of this event. Once again, I thank you all for your support. It has indeed been a great pleasure. Thank you so much.